Every 7 minutes, someone in the United States dies from a fentanyl overdose. In 2022 alone, over 73,000 Americans lost their lives to synthetic opioids, with fentanyl leading the charge. Canada is facing a fentanyl epidemic too. Over 4,605 opioid-related deaths were recorded in Canada in just 1 year. And this crisis is not just a North American problem. Fentanyl overdoses have surged worldwide. But where is this deadly drug coming from, and why has it become a global crisis? Stay tuned as we break down the origins of fentanyl, its legal medical uses, and the dangerous international supply chain fueling the epidemic. Fentanyl was never meant to be a street drug. It was originally developed in 1959 as a powerful pain reliever, 100 times stronger than morphine. Doctors use it for severe post-surgical pain, cancer-related pain management, and end-of-life care. Under medical supervision, fentanyl saves lives. But outside the hospital, it has become one of the most dangerous drugs on the planet. So why has fentanyl become the deadliest drug on the streets? Unlike heroin or cocaine, fentanyl is cheaper to produce, easier to smuggle, and way more potent. Just 2 milligrams can be lethal. Drug traffickers mix fentanyl into pills and powders without users knowing. A person thinks they're taking oxycodone, Xanax, or even heroin, but instead they're consuming a lethal dose of fentanyl. The biggest suppliers? Cartels in Mexico fueled by precursor chemicals from China. And Canada is caught in the middle of this crisis too. Canada is not just a victim of the fentanyl crisis, it has become a key transit point. Fentanyl is being smuggled into Canada from China and Mexico before making its way into US cities. Major Canadian cities like Vancouver and Toronto have become hubs for fentanyl trafficking. The drug is pressed into counterfeit pills and sent across the US-Canada border. Fentanyl-related deaths in Canada have tripled in recent years. In 2023, nearly 80% of opioid-related deaths in Canada involved fentanyl. Canadian officials are cracking down, but the flow of fentanyl remains difficult to stop. Traffickers use shipping containers, mail services, and even social media to distribute fentanyl across North America. Mexico plays a huge role in the fentanyl crisis. The Sinaloa cartel and Jalisco New Generation cartel mass-produce fentanyl in hidden labs. But why Mexico? Well, there are a few reasons. First, there's the proximity to the US and Canada, which makes for easy smuggling routes. Then, Mexico has weak regulations, making it easier to produce synthetic drugs. And lastly, the huge profits. Just think about it. 1 kilogram of fentanyl, costing $5,000 to make, can generate over $1.5 million on US streets. This is why fentanyl has been labeled a national security threat, and why the US has increased border security and drug enforcement operations. The fentanyl crisis has also led to major economic and political battles. The US imposed tariffs on China, Mexico, and Canada as part of its strategy to disrupt the fentanyl supply chain. But why? First, let's talk about the tariffs on China. China supplies precursor chemicals used to manufacture fentanyl. Despite crackdowns, Chinese companies still find ways to export these chemicals. So, the US placed economic pressure on China to regulate these exports. Next, we have tariffs on Mexico. Mexican cartels process fentanyl and smuggle it into the US. The US is pressuring Mexico to crack down on cartel operations. These tariffs aim to force Mexico to take stronger action against drug manufacturing. And finally, tariffs on Canada. Canada has become a fentanyl trafficking route into the US. The US wants stricter border controls and tougher enforcement against fentanyl smuggling. These tariffs are designed to slow down fentanyl production and trafficking, but well, are they enough? The scariest part? Many victims don't even know they're taking fentanyl. The most at-risk groups are teens and young adults experimenting with pills, people with opioid addictions seeking stronger highs, and anyone buying drugs from non-medical sources. Even one pill can be enough to stop someone's breathing. That's why awareness is critical. There is hope, but we need action. Public education, know the dangers of fentanyl, stronger border and trade policies, target production at the source, harm reduction strategies, access to naloxone can save lives, better addiction treatment, expand rehab and recovery programs. This crisis is real, it's taking lives every day. Stay informed, stay safe, talk to your loved ones. Have you or someone you know been affected by fentanyl or opioid addiction? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe to spread awareness and help save lives. Your awareness could save a life. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, call the national helpline 1-800-662-4357 in the US or 1-833-456-4566 in Canada.